guys, so for today's video I am doing the jelly glitter set that I had on the poll that I did a couple weeks ago. That I had it with a couple other cat eye looks, and like this one and one of the cat eye looks were tied, so I ended up doing both. I did the cat eye one a couple weeks ago, or last week or something like that, I don't know. And then now I am doing this one. So to start off, I'm just taking my clear hard gel and applying a layer of this down just to make the surface even. Because I do have my tips on, and there is a little bit of a ridge where the tip and my natural nail meet, so I just want to kind of fill that in, so when I apply the jelly gel polish, it doesn't like pool in that ridge there and create like this distinct line there that you can see. There is gel polish pooled there, so I'm just going through doing a thin layer of this on all of the nails to make a nice even surface. And then once I get that on, I do go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. I do the four fingers here all at once, and then I do my thumb separately, just because the hard gel does kind of run pretty easy and you can get flooding pretty easily. And when you stick your whole hand in the lamp, you know, your thumb is kind of on its side. I don't want the hard gel to run onto my skin and then, you know, have a risk of developing an allergy. So I do these four first and then do the thumb separately. If you are doing something similar to this and you are worried about like flooding or the gel getting onto your skin or anything, you can flash cure in between doing each nail and then do a final 60-second cure at the end. But I wasn't doing a whole lot here. It was just this thin layer. It wasn't like I was building up the nail or anything, and it went pretty quick, so I didn't feel like I needed to flash cure in between. I felt like I was quick enough to be able to do all four of these and then stick it in the lamp. Now I'm taking Astroturf from a Ballpit and applying that to the nails. You can kind of see that they are a little bit discolored already with this polish. That is because I painted all of them and I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, so I wiped them all off real quick and then hit record, so I could have the footage of me painting the nails with this. So yeah, that's why they're already kind of stained a little bit. Like, I just real quick wiped them off. I didn't do like a very good job of wiping them off because I knew I was applying this again, but I did want to have them wiped off so, you know, I could have this footage here and didn't just have like this huge chunk of the video cut off, because, you know, this is like the main part of the video, painting the nails this jelly color. But anyhow, I didn't know what color I wanted to do when I was going into this set, so I was looking at all my jelly colors that I have, and this one just caught my eye. This really bright neon kind of like highlighter color. And I just feel like because it's getting warmer and we're getting into summer and everything, I'm really wanting to do a lot of like super bright neon type of sets. So I felt like this was a really good like color for that. I really love this color. Like this kind of neon green slash yellowish kind of color is one of my favorites, especially for the summer. Like it's just super bright and a little bit obnoxious. And in person, you can kind of get the effect here on camera, but in person, they just always kind of look like they're sort of glowing almost with how bright this color is. But yeah, I just really like this color. And I am encapsulating this along with the glitters just because I really like how glitter looks when it's encapsulated. It kind of like gets magnified under that layer of clear that you put on top. So that's why I'm doing this the way that I am. You could always, do everything on top of the nails that you're doing. So like if you did acrylic nails or polygel nails, or you did hard gel or whatever, you could do all of these layers on top. But like I said, I wanted to encapsulate them because I really like how encapsulated glitter looks. And then I kind of did things a little backwards here and I didn't realize it at first. But what I'm doing right here is applying the little hollow star sequins on the nails. I only did 2 on each nail. I didn't want to do a whole lot of like glitter and sequins and stuff on the nail because I still did want it to be like pretty jelly and see-through. So I only did 2 sequins on each nail. And to apply the sequins, I'm just taking some base coat and applying that to the nail, and then I stick the sequins into that, and then I will cure them for 60 seconds. But like I said, I kind of messed up a little bit and did things backwards. I was supposed to add a different glitter first, and I didn't realize it until after I had gotten all the sequins on. Thankfully, I realized it before I cured it. So I was able to just wipe all of the base coat and the sequins off. But yeah, so I did kind of mess up a little bit here. You will see later that it all is wiped off and I'm adding the other glitter first. You can kind of see on my right hand here like how I want it to look. And I don't know why, I just kind of spaced and completely forgot about that other glitter, or that I applied the other glitter first before applying these sequins on. So the glitter that I am using is Cosmic Confetti from Ballpit. It's really fun. It's like this iridescent glitter, and depending on what you put it on, whether you put it on a clear base or, you know, a jelly base or like some other kind of color base, like it kind of changes how it looks a little bit, and like how the color shows up and how it like um reflects the light and everything, which is really cool. um so once I realized that I didn't put this on, I wiped all of the base coat and the sequins off and then applied this. I only did one coat of this because, like I said, I wanted to keep it all super jelly and see-through. I did just want a little bit of glitter, just to add some like sparkle onto the nail a little bit and make it a little less plain, you know? So I applied this and then I went ahead and cured for 60 seconds. And then I went back and applied the sequins again with the base coat. I applied the base coat, stuck the sequins on, cured that for 60 seconds. I didn't refilm it though because you already just saw me do that before and I felt like I didn't need to do it again, but I did film the thumb since I didn't show me doing the thumb, because by the time I got all four of those done I realized that I didn't apply that glitter. um, so yeah. Now I'm going in with my rubber base from LGN. Applying this for two reasons. One, I want to make sure that the hard gel sticks and adheres to the polish that I put on the nail and it's not going to peel off or pop off. It should stick fine because gel sticks to gel, but I did want to make sure that it was actually going to stick and I wasn't going to have any issues later on. The second reason why I am applying it is to go over those hollow sequin pieces to make sure that they are stuck down on to the nail and they're not going to move around at all when I apply my hard gel to build up the nail. Sometimes when using base coat to adhere like glitter and sequins and stuff, sometimes it just doesn't stick very well, like you didn't stick it down enough or anything. I feel like for these ones they were fine because I did press them down into the polish or the base gel, and it was just the two little ones. It wasn't like I was like pouring on a bunch of glitter or doing a bunch of little sequins or whatever, so I felt like it was fine. Also, I wanted to add a little bit of an extra layer on top, so when I did go in with my filing later on, hopefully, you know, all these extra layers on top of it would help to prevent like me filing into them at all, because sometimes I can get kind of file happy and end up filing like too far down or whatever. So, and that also happens sometimes with like glitter and sequins and stuff, especially something like this where they are, you know, the sequins are flat, they don't really bend, you know, to fit the nail and lay flat on the nail. You do kind of have to like push them down, and I didn't do that at all. So like the edges and like the corners of the stars were kind of lifted up a little bit off the nail, and they can like poke out through whatever you're putting on top, and you could end up filing those off. So I did want to, maybe try and add another extra little layer just to, hopefully I wouldn't file through to them. I didn't file through at all on any of them. I think my layer that I did here when I built up the nail was thick enough. And then I am including a little bit of me building up the nails. I think I included like 2 nails, just because I felt like there wasn't a whole lot on this in this video, and it's pretty straightforward and simple, and it was pretty short. So just to add a little bit of length of the video and add some more to it, I decided to include a little bit of me building up the nails. I do still need to film like a full in-depth video of that. I know I did the prep and like my protective layer and the removal video too. I still need to do my application and filing videos, which I'll try to remember to do that the next time I do my nails, but I didn't want to do that for this set. Anyhow, so I just take a glob of the hard gel, apply that to the nail as my slip layer, and then I go in with a larger glob and use that to build up the nail, get the apex the way I need it to be, and add a little bit of extra thickness onto the rest of the nail, and just get everything the way that I like it to be. And then once I get one nail built up, I do go ahead and cure that for 30 seconds just so it all stays in place and it's not running all over and flooding my nails before moving on to the next nail, and then doing the same step of the slip layer and then the larger layer that I actually use to build up the nail, and then cure that for 30 seconds. And I just repeat that process until I get all 5 of the nails done. And then once I have all 5 of the nails done, I do stick my hand in the lamp to cure for the full 60 seconds to make sure that everything is completely cured. And as you saw, I will sometimes flip my hand over to let gravity kind of do its thing and like help level everything out, and to get that apex a little bit higher if I need it a little bit higher. I don't always have to flip my hand over, because sometimes like I get the apex how I want it with just applying the gel on, but sometimes it does kind of like I do kind of drag it down a little more than what I wanted. Like I didn't have enough of the product on my brush in the first place, so I need to add more, or I just need to kind of flip it over and let gravity pull it down to help create that apex a little bit. And then after I get that adjusted, like I said, I do go ahead and cure for 30 seconds. And then this is how my nails look after getting all of the hard gel applied before filing, and this is what they look like after I got them all filed. I didn't file them on camera or anything because I hate filing on camera. I'm kind of dreading having to do that here at some point because it's just annoying and it's a little bit difficult for me. But anyhow, I got them all filed and I went and washed them off in the bathroom with soap and water. And I always, after I wash them off, because the soaps do have like oils and stuff, and like your natural oils from you touching your nails and whatever. I do like to go in with dehydrator. Well, I wipe them off with alcohol first to remove any residue or anything. I also go in with dehydrator to really make sure all of that is gone, and then I go in with primer just to make sure that any polish that I put on top of the nail is actually going to stick and it's not going to peel off or anything. Like I said earlier, I don't really feel like I need to do that step, but I do it just as a precaution to really make sure that everything sticks, because that would be really annoying. And later on, if stuff does start peeling off of the nails and like chipping off, it just ends up making your nails look kind of funky, and it is also just annoying to have stuff chip off and peel off. So I do like to take these extra steps to make sure that it's all good and everything is going to stick. Now I'm going in with another layer of this jelly green yellow color and applying that to all of the nails. I could have applied the second layer on top after getting the sequins on, so everything was all encapsulated, but I decided to hold off and wait to do the second layer of this jelly color until after I got the nails built up, just in case I did file too far anywhere when I was doing filing and like filed off any of the polish or anything. Then this way it was going to be covered and there wasn't going to be any like naked spots, I guess you could say, on the nail. But like I said, I didn't have any issues with that. I didn't file too far down into anything, so everything was good, but I still did want to have 2 layers of the jelly color. I knew I wanted to do like the jelly sandwich method, where you do 1 layer of the jelly color, then you put like your glitter and whatever, and then do another layer on top. So it all worked out in the end. Once I got this applied, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds, and now I'm going in with my LGN shiny top coat and applying this to all of the nails. I feel like these would probably look really cool matte as well. Jelly colors do look really cool matte. The only thing with doing a matte top coat though, the hollow on those sequins wouldn't have been noticeable. It would have just been flat, like a flat shiny, or not shiny, but like a flat silver color instead of being the hollow where it reflects like the rainbow and everything. So if I was doing like a plain colored sequin or something, then I think it would have been fine to have matte, but because I did use the hollow sequins, I did want these to be shiny. I mean, I wanted them to be shiny anyway because I prefer shiny nails over matte nails, but like I said, I do feel like something like this would look really cool matte as long as you weren't using like hollow glitter or sequins or anything. Also, after I filed the nails, I did top coat the underneath of the nails since they are see-through. I wanted to make sure everything was nice and clear and there wasn't any cloudiness or anything. Also, I just always top coat the underneath of my nails no matter what I do, whether they're clear, jelly, opaque. Like, I always just top coat the underneath. Like, I just feel like it looks a little better. It also helps, I feel like, in my personal opinion, to keep them cleaner, because everything just kind of slides right off of the top coat because it's nice and smooth and shiny and all of that. So it's a lot easier to, kind of just clean everything off of it. Anyhow, after I got this applied, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And this is the finished result. I really love these nails. They're super fun and great for summer. They are pretty tame compared to what I usually do on myself. Usually I'm doing a lot of stuff on my nails. I'll have like all 5 nails being different. Well, all 5 nails on one hand, but being different. Lots of texture and like 3D stuff and stuff like that, charms and rhinestones and stuff. And this one is just pretty simple, pretty basic, just some jelly polish and some glitter. And I really like them. They're super fun. I can't stop staring at them because, like I said, they're like so bright and obnoxious and almost look like they're glowing in person. But they're super fun. And as I was curing them, I was seeing how bright and insane they were looking under the light, so I had to show you guys here like what that was looking like. So if you are looking for like a neon green color that shows up under black light, like if you're going to a party or a rave or something, I don't know, this is a really fun color for that, and it will glow under the black light super bright. It doesn't really look like it's super bright on camera, but in person it's way brighter and way more intense. Even just, you know, not under the black light or anything, just like in the sunlight and in regular light and whatever, like these nails are super, like I said, they're super bright and obnoxious, and I really like them. They're super fun for summer. They kind of give me like pool inflatable, you know, like the inner tubes, or like those inflatable chairs that were around in like the early 2000s or whatever. I don't know, they're just super fun and I really love them. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.